Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the 8 Sutter Health nurses who decided they were going to band together and post one of the most disturbing TikToks that I've ever seen from a medical professional or medical professionals over Labor Day weekend. So what happened with these nurses, you may be asking? Over the Labor Day weekend, a TikTok account named Angie Uncut posted a video with 7 of her coworkers titled "Guess the Substance." And just by saying that, maybe you can catch on to what I'm about to talk to you guys about. So this post included 8 nurses that work for Sutter Health in California. What is interesting is that the person who posted it, so the Angie Uncut account, that girl was actually fired from the company 2 months before posting this. So not only did she wait to post it, she just had this in her camera roll. She decided, I've been fired for a little bit. Let me finally post this to the internet to see, which I found interesting, and I'd really be curious why she felt like that was a good idea. And it also makes me curious how many more photos, videos, TikToks, or whatever is on this person and other people's phones who works there. Like all of the nurses included with this, how many more or how many patients have they mocked and made disturbing content out of that has just never been posted? So now let's look at the post. So here's the first one. This is the girl that posted the video, and it is a picture of her with her thumbs up taking a picture with like the patient table that people normally lay on after the patient has left, showcasing the patient's being left on the table. Then you swipe over, it's one of the other nurses doing the exact same thing, and it states, "And we love them so much," aka them saying that the gifts that are being left is women's normal bodily reactions when they're laying on a patient bed at like a gynecologist's office. This is very normal. Swipe again, it's another nurse saying all shapes and sizes. We've got another nurse saying the same thing. Now we have all of the nurses laughing, joking, thinking it's hilarious to post. And the last photo said, "Make sure to leave your healthcare workers sweet gifts like these," where they're all posing with the patient table. So these nurses thought, and someone, if not all of them, had the bright idea to take photos after patients left the room, showcasing the patient's dish being left on the table. Not only, in my opinion, is this one of the most disgusting acts of patient care I've seen in a while, but it is insanely dehumanizing and disturbing for healthcare workers, let alone nurses, to be mocking their patients and treating their patients this way for literally their normal bodily functions during a procedure in their clinic, which we can assume that this procedure that people are getting done is clearly at like an OBGYN, gynecology office, where people are getting pap smears and things like that. People are literally being opened up for the nurses and the doctor to see them in their most invasive and like vulnerable position that they could be in, which many women don't want to do. That's why a lot of women don't go to get their like exams done, because it's extremely invasive. These nurses thought of the bright idea to post that to the internet. In my opinion, the field of nursing, I have nurse friends and stuff like that. The field of nursing is supposed to be filled with compassion, empathy, respect, and honesty. That is what the profession represents. It's the first line of care that patients get when they go to the ER. They see a nurse first, they get triaged. When I go to any of my doctors, I always see a nurse first, and they provide me with a lot of compassion and empathy. But I can only imagine that these nurses are not the ones that we all think about. So I want to talk about the deeper issues that come with this post, because when I seen it, I thought of many different things, and then I'll go into if these people still work there, because newsflash, they don't. But that's a whole interesting thing that we could talk about in a minute. But first I want to talk about the workplace problem. To me, if 8 employees, 8 nurses participated in taking photos like these, knowing they could be shown to the public, because anything you take a photo of, anything you do can be shown to the public. AKA the girl that got fired still decided to post this 2 months later. And you do that knowingly, you're putting out there that you do not care. You're putting out there that your work environment is not healthy. And that's what it made me question. Like, how is this work environment, an entire clinic or office of people, 8 nurses? That's a lot of nurses, like in a clinic. It raises questions to me about the culture of the clinic specifically, and why did they think that that was okay to do? And again, it wasn't just one nurse that, decided to be one of the bad apples and decided to like do something like this. It was an entire office or an entire shift of people who banded together and said, yeah, this is a great idea. This is what I want to do in my free time. So to me, it shows or makes me question, question, does this office commonly have this issue where, they dehumanize or demean women in the workplace? But let me know what you guys think, because when I was researching this to see that it was an entire clinic of people, or an entire shift of people, 8 nurses in total, it made me do a lot of questioning on what is that work environment like. Second, this also brings up the ethical and legal problems that could come from a post like this. So I have been seeing people mention, people in comment sections and stuff like that, mentioning the term or the concept of HIPAA, which is more of a legal term or a protective legal term. So HIPAA is a federal law, if you guys are unsure what it is. It is a federal law that contains detailed provisions regarding client privacy and the protection of clients' or patients' protected health information. So when you go to a doctor, when you go to a therapist, when you go to a psychiatrist, whatever medical or mental health professional that you're going to see, they are bound by HIPAA. They are not allowed to talk about you. They're not allowed to give people your information, and they're definitely not allowed to post things about you or you in general, right? So when I was looking at this TikTok and looking at the pictures, I didn't see a HIPAA violation myself. I didn't see where there was any protective information released. There wasn't a chart left out with someone's name on it or their birthday or anything that could identify the patient to that set photo. But what I did see was a complete ethical violation. I seen a complete disregard for respect and empathy for patients, which is clearly an inherent ethical violation. Patients should be treated like human beings, and especially in a clinic like this, they should be treated with an extra level of empathy, compassion, and positive regard. And in a case like this, allowing yourself to post something like this thinking it was appropriate is wild to me, because this is the opposite of appropriate. This is dehumanizing and extremely unethical, in my opinion. So when I was looking into nurses' ethics and the ethical codes that could be violated in this situation, I've seen 4 different ethical violations, and there probably is more, but basic ethics violations, I've seen many of them. So in a situation like this, what could happen is every single one of these nurses could be reported to the board that they're licensed with. And what can happen is you can have your license revoked, or you can have it suspended for an ethical violation like this. So I assume or would think that someone most likely has reported these people to the licensing board in California. And in the medical field, ethical violations and conducting yourself in a way like this could put you in a position to lose your license or get it suspended. And when you get it suspended, you have to do a lot of things to get it back, or it's kind of like when you get arrested, but then they give you community service. It's a similar type of concept where your license could be suspended, or you could have certain things done to it, like you need to be put in supervision, or you need to do this, this, and this before you can get your license back. They could force them to do trainings and other different things to learn basic empathy, which they should be having in a field like this. So that is definitely something that I was looking into. And specifically, the things that I seen them violating was beneficence. So that is an ethical thing in the nurses' ethical codes, which means that you are actively doing good and promoting the welfare for others. Were they doing that in this scenario? No, they were promoting harm when they posted that. 2, the ethical, and I always say this term wrong, so don't mind me for that, but it's non-maleficent. I always say it incorrectly, but that includes doing no harm. And let me tell you, this did extreme harm. Not only did it do harm to the patients that go to that office and know those nurses and could be thinking, is that me? Did they take a picture of the table that I was on when I left? But they provided harm to the entire medical profession when they did something like this, because women all over the country, and you guys can let me know if you feel similarly, have an issue with going to gynecologists and OBGYNs and things like that to get procedures like pap smears and cancer screenings done due to the literal personal nature of a procedure like that and being so vulnerable to be put in a position like that. So all this post did was prove those women right. The women who are scared to go get their procedures done. The women who feel oh, that is very invasive. I don't want to do that. And the people who stall, the women who stalled to get these procedures done. And this proved those women right, that they are going to potentially go to an office where they're going to be demeaned and dehumanized, which is a horrible feeling to have. So not only could this have detrimental, and I mean detrimental, effects for women not wanting wanting to seek care anymore, mainly because of the humiliation that can come with it. But it also puts women in a position of harm. Women may not go get their pap smears done. Women may not go get their cervical cancer screenings done. And then what happens then? Women are stalling to go to the doctors and getting their checks, which can lead to what? It can lead to a woman finding out they have an issue, right? Or like cervical cancer, anything like that, too late or very late in the process because they're scared to go get care. I know for myself, I've talked to many women and I've seen many women talk about this over the years, how traumatizing going to a gynecologist can be. And I truly strongly believe that this could potentially or has worsened that fear, causing many women to feel as if they are in danger by going to a place like this. That's literally the definition of doing harm. So I wouldn't be surprised if these nurses had to deal with reprimand regarding their license or issues regarding their license or getting their license revoked or suspended or having to do certain things to keep their license. So let me know what you guys think about that, the ethical part of it. If you are a nurse or you work in the medical field, I would love to hear your opinion on it because I do think it's really sad because we have amazing nurses out there. And also, this post shows how impactful social media is, and I see how impactful social media is every day I get on it. Not only did this video go viral within 24 hours, but also the people got fired within a couple days. They were gone. They were being investigated 24 hours in and they were fired 2 days after that. So Sutter Health made 2 posts and I'm going to read them for you guys within 24 to 48 hours of this going viral. The first post stated, "We share the concern raised by a recent social media post at one of our care sites and took immediate action once we became aware. We take this matter very seriously and are conducting a full review. Patient trust and dignity are always our top priority and any behavior that violates those standards is unacceptable." The individual who posted the content is a former employee and was not employed with us at the time of the post. Any other staff shown are part of our internal investigation and are on administrative leave pending the results. Literally like a day later, this is what gets posted. So Sutter Health stated, "Sutter Health has terminated the employees responsible for the inappropriate and insensitive photo posts on social media. This unaccepted behavior is an outright violation of our policies, shows a lack of respect for our patients, and will not be tolerated." Ain't that true? Because there was no respect shown there. Protecting the trust of those we serve is our highest priority, and when that trust is violated, we take swift action to address it. We expect all team members to live our patients' first mission and uphold the highest standards of compassion, professionalism, and respect. We are using this inappropriate incident to reinforce our comprehensive policies with our team members across the organization as part of our commitment to providing all patients with high quality, compassionate care. So I am glad that Sutter Health so quickly not only put these people on leave so they can't harm more people while the investigation is going on, but I am very glad that they got fired. To me, posts like this not only harm the people involved, the patients that went to that office and knew those nurses, the patient that was like, wait, I went there last week, was that me? Not only did it harm those people, but to me, a post like this has lasting impacts on how the public views healthcare. So in conclusion, my final thoughts on this, which you guys can probably gather how I feel. I think this was a terrible thing for anybody to experience when they're just trying to get medical care and screenings. I feel like a post like this impacts, like I said, public perception. And when the public perception of something like healthcare diminishes due to issues like this, it can cause lasting effects, which can cause harm, specifically in this situation, to women or individuals seeking gender affirming care. So to me, women may feel more fearful than before about seeking help regarding their reproductive systems. And this can cause those women to lose precious time of having preventative care and checks done like pap smears and cervical cancer checks for any reproductive care issues that we may have. And doing this can cause people to not get those checks done. And by not getting those checks done, like I said earlier, they may not get the help that they need with enough time to help them. I also think this post really shows that every field has its bad apples. I would say, again, I'm very close to some nurses in my life. One of my best friends is a nurse, and she is one of the most amazing, humans I've ever met, provides her patients, because I've worked with her, the utmost empathetic, compassionate care ever, and puts the patients before herself. every single time. And that is what nurses and medical professionals and mental health professionals should be doing. We should be doing everything in our care to provide the best patient care possible and to advocate for patients, to ensure that our patients are getting the help they deserve and are being heard with that help, right? If a patient's asking for help and no one's listening to them, being the person that steps up and does that. Just because of 8 bad apples, it can make a lot of people second guess going to the doctor and getting the care that they need. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys aren't on TikTok, you may not have like seen all of this going on. And I know a lot of people who like comment on my videos sometimes say that like, oh my gosh, thank you for posting. Like, I don't go on TikTok. I don't really like it, or I just scroll on there. So I don't like to go on there often. So I like to take stuff from over there and post it here too. Because not only can taking stuff from there and here spread the message on certain topics, but I think it's extremely important to talk about on a wide level, medical care, mental health care, anything that has to do with healthcare and seeking the help that you need. Talking about those things and being open about those things is crucial. So let me know what you guys thought about this video. This was definitely a hard one to research and see like how those patients were treated. It was very difficult and caused a lot of like frustration for me as a woman to see something like that and understanding how difficult it is to go to the doctor and seek care like this. Like, it was so difficult to watch that happen because it's already hard. It's already hard for women to want to seek the care or feel that they can seek the care because of how invasive these procedures are and how difficult they are and how much women aren't heard in the medical profession. With that being said, don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Lastly, but it also puts women in the light to, the former employee we are using this inappropriate incident, public person, do I look crazy? I feel crazy.